That strength, that wonder, with that blessing, we'll have Yeshua, we'll have a chance to return, to renew, to have hope and bracha. Well, I can't believe it's the last Shabbat of January, and the days are getting longer. The light is lasting a little longer, and that sense of us being able to see each other and hopefully see each other soon in person. But we're glad to see you coming into us to join us with Shabbat for Shabbat services here at Congregation Emanu-El. And I think maybe we might be announcing in 2 weeks that we'll be back together again in person, so stay tuned for that. But join us, bring your heart, bring your blessing, and help us have that sense of Yeshua. I'm Rabbi Jonathan Singer. I'm honored to lead the service with Cantor Marcia Addy.
And our beautiful crew, Eric Schoen, Dick Bright, and Ken Cook.
Ken, welcome.
Who cooks.
He's going to bring his jazz on to us this evening. Well, that light is there. We need to take the light in. And of course, we welcome Shabbat with the kindling of Shabbat candles. And we're so glad to have Eric Schoen kindle the lights for us. Eric brings his spirit, his blessing, his talent to us, his light. And join with Cantor Addy in the blessings.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Give a hug to somebody you're near at home. Send a message out to somebody that you're wishing the Shabbat Shalom. You can be in the chat online. As we turn to page 20, if you have a prayer book for L'Chadodi.
L'Chadodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabelai. L'Chadodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabelai. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad kishmi'anu
we start to get ready to sing Shalom Aleichem in this Kabbalah Shabbat service. If you have a prayer book on page 24. Shalom Aleichem is inviting to welcome the angels to come and be with us on Shabbat. Maimonides, the most rationalist of Jewish theologians, he wrote about angels in his Moreh Nevukim, his Guide to the Perplexed. He said that the angels of wisdom, of hope, of knowledge, that they flow through the system. They're always there to meet you. And so to welcome the angels of being in your life, and not see it just as a person, but as a force that you can open yourself up to, and that Shabbat helps us renew ourselves to be open and receive that wisdom, that hope, and maybe be an angel back to someone else. That is a great teaching about Shalom Aleichem and angels. So welcome them, welcome their renewal, page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Chasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamalachim, hakadosh hakadosh baruch hu. Baruchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamalachim, hakadosh hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Ni melech malchei hamalachim, hakadosh hakadosh baruch hu.
If you're able, we rise for Baruch Hu on page 28, and we give our words of praise as the angels connect with us, we connect with them. it's truly dark outside. This Shabbat, at some point, go outside and look at the stars and grasp the light that's coming from there. Praise to Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
ומעביר יום ומאיפי לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב
Take a deep breath and get ready for Shema and have that kavanah, that connection with the one with you.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Have a seat and join us with these words of love and pathways of blessing. Ve'ahavta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמן.
Amen, amen. You know, this Shabbat is Parshat Mishpatim. It has all of these laws. I'll be talking about it in my Devar. And the Ve'ahavta really tells us to live your life in the everyday, to bring these teachings, these values into the everyday. Not just in the sanctuary, not in your home, but when you rise up and when you lie down, when you walk by the way. Let's do the English together. You shall love Adonai our God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the mezuzot of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my mitzvot and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. We celebrate that going out from Egypt to a journey of purpose, Micha Mocha.
mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ka'al Israel.
We think of those who crossed over with us. Some of us, we had to help each other through that passage. Just we help each other now as we start to think about healing with love. Page 43.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Oh, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
If you're thinking of somebody who could use a Misha Berach, a blessing for healing, knowing that you're standing with them, go ahead and put their name, if they're public, into the chat. We'll just add them in our hearts for healing of body, healing of spirit, support for their loved ones, and for the medical personnel guiding them. This Shabbat, we've been told to think of these people, these loved ones: Frank Friedman, Rusty Holden, Carol Boygan, Murray Schneider, Mark Mirabelli, John Whalen, Lou Aronow, Dennis Parton, Ricardo Castro, Maddie Dennison, Lexi Polivoy, Judith Schiff, Harav Camille, Emily Pick, Leslie Schwartz, Katie Taylor, Annette Russo, Ann Singer, Nechama Bat Dahlia, Tony Barbara Salen, Phoebe Rubin, Robin Owenwood, Andre Nagelson, Elise Blatt, Ruth DeHovitz, Zachary Roy, and those you've mentioned as well. Mishaberach Avitan Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Imuntin Asar Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirpei et Olim Yitan Lem Refet Nefesh Refet Guf Refet Kol Anomar. Amen.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Oh, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
You know, Cantor Addie, I feel like, all the days flow into being the same when we're stuck at home working all the time. And then Shabbat, it helps us break away and make something different. The Shamru, it says we're supposed to keep the Shabbat, but I think the Shabbat is keeping us a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, isn't that what the text says, that Shabbat keeps us? We keep the Shabbat, and we are kept by the Shabbat.
Thank goodness. Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריד עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריד עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריד עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת
go a little deeper into our own personal prayer as we get ready for the Amidah. If you're comfortable, if you want to, please rise wherever you are and join with us. If you're in a prayer book on page 46, and we'll chant a bit together and then be in our own prayer space and take a moment for that silence to express gratitude or hope or longing or praying for peace all over the world that needs it, for people who have food, and for your own renewal. Page 46.
Adonai, Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi, Ufi, Akid, Tekilatecha, Adonai, Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi, Akid, Tekilatecha, so that my mouth can sing praise to you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elokei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak ve'Elokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rachel ve'Elokei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Chanura, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imachot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'nechem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav leHoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid haGashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato lishenei afar, Mi chamocha b'gevurot u'midomelach, Melech meimit u'mechayei, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah le'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yihalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. This Monday is Rosh Chodesh. Rosh means the head of, like Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year. Rosh Chodesh is the new moon, when we have a little tiny sliver of a moon. And we actually have a holiday every new moon that prays that we'll be renewed just like the moon is renewed. And I believe this month is the month of Adar, Rabbi, right?
It's Adar, it's Esther's month. I think we're commanded to be happy soon.
We are.
I'm looking forward to Purim.
So I'm going to sing you the traditional text for the blessing for the new moon, and then I'm going to also sing it to you in English so you'll have a little sense of what it means. Rosh Chodesh ba'aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam letova yichadshehu hakodesh baruch hu aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael lechaim u'leshalom lesazon u'simcha liyeshua u'nechama v'nomar amen. May the new moon bring goodness to us and Israel and all the world. The Holy One renews us with the moon. Every month we start again for good, for life, and for shalom, for happiness and for joy, that we may heal and find comfort. And let us say, and let us say, and let us say, Amen. V'nomar, v'nomar,
Amen, amen. That was so beautiful. Who's the writer? You Cantor Addie. You wrote that. You're just amazing. I mentioned it's Parshat Mishpatim. And so as I think about this Torah portion, we read, laws, laws, and more laws are found in this Parsha. This is just after we took in the majestic wonder and value framework that is the Ten Commandments last week. Mishpatim, this body of laws, begins to make up now much more what becomes the 613 commandments or mitzvot. The Hebrew word for the body of Jewish law that these commands become, mishpatim, mitzvot, are synonymous. The next Hebrew word I want you to know is halakha, for the body of the law. The words derive from the Hebrew verb lalechet, which means to walk, implying that we have these commandments that are given to us to guide us as we make our way through life, as we make our way through the world. How do we govern our being to build a good community? Ele ha-mishpatim, the text says, these are the laws that are meant to guide your everyday action. And boy, do they go into detail. Some of the laws are obscure. They don't reflect how we walk in the world today. And so Judaism has always interpreted the law to make it reflect contemporary needs, holiness, and understanding. And so I'll remind you that Justice Stephen Breyer, who's retiring now, well, he was confirmed here at Congregation Emanu-El. His picture hangs proudly with his confirmation class on the 5th floor of our building. Other laws, though, are timeless. You shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the feelings of the stranger, as you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Exemplifies one such timeless law. And then there are laws like the one I'm about to share that make you stop and think about how the value underneath the commandment has deeper meaning today than one might at first think. Exodus 21:28 states the following: when an ox gores a person, the ox shall be stoned, and the flesh not eaten. But the owner of the ox is not to be punished. If, however, that ox is in the habit of stoning, of goring, and its owner, though warned, it lets it kill someone, the ox shall be stoned, and the owner, the text tells us, is punished as well. I want to consider that reality. An ox that is in the habit of goring, and an owner needing to be warned to take responsibility for what he's letting happen in the world. I know we don't see too many oxen loose on the streets of San Francisco, but too much lately, even here, do we see people letting the ox of their hatred gore others. It's one thing now and then to have a crazy person say something hateful. It is another to habituate and normalize that hatred. It's what leads to actions like the attack on a synagogue in Texas. And so I tell you, whenever we encounter such hatred, the ox and the owner must be warned. You may have heard this past week, we received numerous emails from members telling us about the distribution of anti-Semitic literature on the streets of Pacific Heights, just a few blocks from here. The posters said, every single aspect of the COVID agenda that America is suffering from is Jewish. And blaming us both for the disease, for the spread of it, for the requirement to be vaccinated and to wear face masks. Now think about that. It argues that this is a Jewish cabal. How bizarre that in 21st century America, to have the medieval anti-Semitic canard of the Black Plague being spread by Jews raise its ugly head again here in this beautiful city. And we can rightly fear that such behavior is at the risk of being normalized. For this same week, a member shared with me that as he was walking on Chestnut Street, he was accosted by a person yelling at him that Jews are stinking up the neighborhood. Now, I mentioned this during the same week that the world is commemorating International Holocaust Remembrance Day. And I mention this when we know also that we Jews aren't alone when it comes to being on the receiving end of being gored by the oxen of hate. Maybe you read 2 days ago in the San Francisco Chronicle that our fair city has seen a profound jump in hate crimes against Asian Americans from 9 in 2020 to 60 in 2021. The same article reported that anti-Black hate crimes rose 27%. LGBTQ hate crimes, 50%. And anti-Jewish, 60%. This in liberal, tolerant San Francisco. And we know that what's reported is far smaller. than what's experienced. We know that beautiful African American young men, beautiful Hispanic young women are constantly profiled. We know that two women in love, holding hands, walking down the street, are taking a risk. We know that many Jews and Muslims, when they don their head covering, Sikhs as well, they go out knowing they're putting a target on themselves. And for we Jews, who on the one hand are told by some that, well, you're not really an ethnic group, that you have the privilege of passing the white ones among you. Well, we know that there is a soft anti-Semitism on the far left and a hard anti-Semitism on the far right, both gaining strength. The former challenges our right to nationalist expression, to Zionism. In Castro Valley last week, the Unified School District voted to hire, despite Jewish protests, the Liberated Ethnic Studies organization to write the school curriculum for their children. This is a group that's anti-Zionist, that consistently demonizes the ADL and the JCRC. And that's who's going to write the curriculum. The other extreme puts out the leaflets, and of course plans to do much worse. So we know it's there. And we know that such anti-Semitism is not new in America. Every year I teach the 10th grade about the American Jewish experience, and I open up about Peter Stuyvesant greeting the very first Jews who come to this land, to this continent, in Manhattan, with an attempt to keep them out. He writes an anti-Semitic diatribe to his employers back in Amsterdam, the Dutch East India Company, proclaiming that we can't let these Jews come and infect this new society. He uses the word infect. But those Jews, Portuguese, Dutch refugees from Brazil who've been living in Amsterdam, they were prepared to respond, to call out against the hatred. They knew about Stuyvesant's ox of hate, but they also knew about the levers they could pull to stand up against such behavior and warn the owner. So they stood up by Stuyvesant by pushing the Dutch East India Company to intervene, clarifying that many Jews back in Amsterdam were partial owners of their company. They were his employers. And so the company wrote a letter back to Stuyvesant, still an anti-Semitic letter. But they told him he had to back down and Jews could live here in freedom in their colony. Now, think about it. Those first American Jews didn't rely on hoping hatred would pass or on prayers, but also on action. When Jews have successfully stood up against hate, we've done so by calling it out, by building alliances with like-minded people who understand that if we don't warn the owners of this kind of behavior, if we don't identify them and call them out and show them the way that they're following is not the path that we as people of value will accept as normal, then we hurt the entire fabric of our civilization. Well, we worked hard to make those alliances here in this beautiful city. I'm grateful for the note that Catherine Stefani, our representative, sent us from the city about her disgust of this kind of behavior in our part of the city. I'm grateful for the calls from the religious leaders who've reached out as well and who've asked us to do something. And so I'm grateful to be able to engage, as I am today, with the Interfaith Council for a more robust interfaith response, where we will speak louder with one united voice, warning those who allow their oxen of hate to gore, that we see them and they cannot hide. Together, we'll be working on a series of bus ads to go throughout the city. We'll be working on a media campaign standing up against all kinds of hate. We'll be working on gathering religious leaders to go and gather in Chinatown with our AAPI brothers and sisters and be of support and protection and pride for them. And we'll bring them back as well to stand in the front of this building, God willing, bearing witness to our own vision, being guided by our values. And so let those values give us strength. And let us not be afraid to call out such hate wherever it rears its ugly head. With courage, with self-confidence, with each other, we can warn the owner of the ox and not allow this kind of behavior to be habituated, but to show a way of blessing and of hope and seeing the holy in each other. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. The prayer we're about to do, the Emanu, it envisions such a day where people are united against hate, but stand together in blessing for the holy. We're on page 282. We rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Be seated. We prepare for Kaddish with this meditation. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are lights that keep guiding us. As we live our days, these are ways we remember, we look for, and are guided by their light. Our hearts go to the families who are in the midst of Shloshim, the month of deep mourning for this recent loss of these loved ones. Sylvia Story, Carolina Alicia Martinez, Miguel Nicoletti Brown, Sarah's Lopez Lowe, Kevin Novak, Frank Meyer, Keith Michael Spiegelman, Richard Steinberg, Fatah Fred Moradi, Maria Martin, Zdenka Levy, James Blue, Jacques Roos, Ellen Josephowitz, and David Artson. May your families be comforted. And then it's the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of these loved ones. May their memories be for a blessing. May their light continue to guide us. Tonight we remember Edith Eric, Harold Daniel Barton, Walter Berkeley, Gerald Blank, Doris Blinks, Sidney Blum, Dora Borer, Sophie Bolton, Catherine Branston, Philip Brandt, Nan Petnick-Dutensky, Bud Cohen, Richard Coleman, Beverly Dennebein, Richard Shine Dinner, Marcia Donner, Marianne Dowling, Cecilia Duprest, Cynthia Efrate, George Edelson, Harry Fireside, Frank Fudum, Lucretia Glazer, Abe Goldberg, Lawrence Goldberg, Abby Goldman, Abraham Gordon, Rose Rebecca Snader Gordon, Jonathan Joseph Greenberg, Moses Misha Grossman, Earl Grossman, Dr. Walter Gruber, Harry Holtz, Jeannie Jasper, Alexander Kaiser, Jack Kay, Ruth E. Nee, Frank F. Crimmon, Esther Kavichko, Solomon Lanster, Carrie Leeds, Stephen Lieber, Rita Levinson, Blossom Willens Levin, Victoria Levitt, Minna Levitt, Mary Ann Magruder, May Melnick, Seymour Bill Miller, Judith Milstein, Dana J. Langfield Nicholsburg, Richard E. Orgel, Leonard Paul, Audrey Polly, Jennifer Perlman, Manuel Price, J. Arthur Pritzker, Rebecca Prostikov, Syed Abdul Majid Quad, Bob Rappaport, Maurice Rhine, Zena Reutman, Thomas B. Rolfe, Jack Rosen, Ethel B. Rosenthal, Leo Schneider, Jacqueline Schneider, Sherman Shockett, Noah Skialam, Flora V. Selling, Emma Stoff, Ira Stone, Ann Suarez, Linda Thaler, Janet Thames, Benny Thier, William Tiefenthal, Monty Toole, Samuel Wagenfeld, Morris M. Walsh, Mickey Wapner, Sala Webb, William Max Weiner, Rose Weinberg, Lillian Weinstock, Jeanette Werboff, James Whiteford, Ruth Cooper Wolin, Harold Yanowich, Barbara Zittel, Richard Zuniga. And of course, if you're thinking of someone as well, please put their name in the chat. And we get ready to say these words of glory, of gratitude, of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'kadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon uv'imechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach elam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'ishtabach v'itba'ar v'itraman v'itnaseh, v'ithadar v'italev v'ithalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tush birchata v'nechamata, damiran ve'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'romav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Oh, say shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru,
after, I think we have to do Kiddush, yeah?
Yes.
I hope that people at home will get a little Kiddush juice or wine, whatever your preference is. A little Manischewitz or Mogen David, or maybe something from Napa, something, or Sonoma, whatever you want, and have an Oneg Shabbat, a joy of Shabbat. Tomorrow morning, we wish they were here tonight, but they'll be here tomorrow. We have the name mitzvah of Malia Gassman, Rivalea Imber Saftar, and Asher Ellis. I hope they're holding up their Kiddush cups at home too. And join with us as we make this bracha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hakafim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'rachavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lemasei v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrei kodesh, zeicher litziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, v'tanu kidasha, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'achava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Raise your glasses high. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat lechaim. L'chaim.
See, I think the original Statue of Liberty model was holding up a Kiddush cup.
That's right.
On light, right? L'chaim, l'chaim. Well, a few announcements before we make motzi. Next Shabbat, we'll be having a special Shabbat with focus on Disability Awareness and Inclusion Month. So join with us. I think Rabbi Bauer will be giving the Devar that Shabbat. And February 6th at 9 a.m., I think it's a Sunday morning, get your coffee and join us on Zoom. I'll be in conversation with Gilad Kariv, who is the first rabbi from the Reform movement, or any non-Orthodox movement, to be a Chaver Knesset, a member of the Israeli Knesset. And we're going to talk to him about what that's like, the direction of Israel, his perspectives. He was the head of the Reform movement before. It's really an amazing thing that he's in the Knesset. He's such a courageous person, and he's a person of hope and blessing. Speaking of hope and blessing, G House is back, and if you go to our website or look at our weekly happenings, you can see how you can be of support and engagement with that important program to help homeless young people and help bring them our support. And then, of course, we want you back in here when it's safe. We hope you're doing everything you can to stay safe and sound and wearing your masks and getting your shots. And stay tuned, because we will be coming back to our sanctuary soon. There is good news coming out of the city because we've been behaving ourselves. We've been following the Mishpatim. So I hope you'll join with us in blessing soon. For now, lift up your challah. Let's sing along.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Bon appetit.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Shabbat
See you
shalom.
soon.
And thank you for the wonderful music, you guys.
Yeah.
Life should have a band.
Ken Cook, who cooks on the piano. Sorry.
Eric Schoen, Dick Bright.
Eric Schoen and Dick Bright.
Yay. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And Biva, thank you for being our producer. Tadar Balacha. Shabbat shalom, everyone.